passion, drive, spark. We have a lot of words for doing something that actually matters to us. But if I asked, are you living with purpose? Most people hesitate. From the time we're kids, we're told this sweet fairy tale. Find your passion and you'll never work a day in your life. It does sound nice, but it also creates lots of pressure. It suggests that there's one right thing out there for you, and if you haven't found it yet, you're already behind. When I started college, I did what a lot of people do. I picked my major, which is business analytics. But I didn't pick it because it was my passion. I was just certain that eventually it will come in handy. And pretty quickly I started second-guessing myself. What if I picked wrong? What if my real passion is hiding somewhere else? So I tried to outrun that doubt by doing everything I could get my hands on. I managed the radio station. I joined ski team. On top of that, I joined any organization I had even remote interest in. And when I found out that that's not what I'm looking for, I started 2 of my own. Later, I worked multiple jobs. IT, social media, marketing, translation, and a few others on top of that. On the outside, it looked impressive. However, on the inside, I was stretched way too thin, juggling from one thing to the next, hoping that one of them would finally feel like, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. But there was no lightning bolt moment. The shift actually came when I finally slowed down and reflected. I noticed that certain parts of those experiences felt more like me than the others. I liked building things from scratch. I liked solving problems, and I liked when numbers connected to real people and real decisions. I didn't like chaos for the sake of chaos, or work that looked good but meant nothing. And that's when it hit me. Maybe passion isn't something I'm supposed to find fully formed. Maybe it's something I build by taking thoughtful action, getting in over my head a little, and then being honest about what I learned. And purpose is what comes out of that process. Purpose is the reason you choose to keep going. It's the why you build through reflection, the understanding of what matters to you and what you're actually working toward. I didn't discover analytics in one magical moment. I grew into it, choice by choice. And that same process is how I've been building my sense of purpose ever since. And once I saw that, a different question started to bother me. I stopped asking, what is my passion? And started asking, why do some days leave me completely empty and others leave me tired but strangely fulfilled? On the surface, they look the same. I was busy in both, I was running around, doing things here and there, but they didn't feel the same. You probably know these 2 states yourself. There are times when you're doing so much that it just drains you. And then there are times when you're still doing a lot and you're just as tired, but you go to bed feeling like the effort meant something. You might not be ecstatic, but you feel a bit more okay with yourself. That is what purpose feels like in real life. Not fireworks, but this cost me something, and it was worth it. The first state usually starts with action, or honestly going on autopilot. You wake up, you do what's in front of you. Not because you chose it, but because it's there. That's step 1, action without intention. Then the tiredness hits. Not I need a nap tired, but the heavy kind, where everything feels like too much. And if that continues, that turns into a habit. Being drained becomes normal, and you start to expect to feel like this. Once fatigue becomes a habit, your brain switches into survival mode. You're not asking, is this good for me anymore? You're just trying to get through the week. You stop reflecting. You stop adjusting. You simply repeat. And if you repeat that long enough, you end up in stagnation. You're moving, but nothing is changing. You feel less and less fulfilled, like you're wasting yourself. That's the exhaustion cycle, and many of us live in it without even realizing. And here's a little problem. Both of these states can look exactly the same on the outside. You're busy in both, you're still doing things, and you're tired, but one leads to stagnation, and the other one leads somewhere better. The second state also starts with action, but the energy here is a little different. This time, the action is thoughtful and intentional. You choose something on purpose. You start a project, say yes to a challenge, or send the message you've been avoiding, or apply for a job you're scared you won't get. That kind of action pushes you into a challenge. You're out of your comfort zone. You don't feel ready yet. You're figuring it out as you go. It's not glamorous. Most of the time, it feels hard and uncomfortable. But if you stay with it, that challenge turns into a new skill. You're not perfect, but you can feel yourself handling things you couldn't handle before. Over time, that new skill becomes comfortable. The thing that was terrifying last month starts to feel manageable. That's your new comfort zone. And here's a crucial step. Instead of getting stuck there, you pause and reflect. You ask, what did I get out of this? When did I feel most alive? When did I feel drained? And what does that tell me about what matters to me? Reflection turns experience into purpose. It lets you take everything you've learned, even from things you didn't enjoy, and carry it to your next decision. Then you start again with the new intentional action. Action, challenge, skill, comfort, reflection, and most importantly, new action. That's the growth cycle. And when you're in it, your effort slowly starts to feel more meaningful and more aligned, even if your life on the outside still looks the same. But this is where passion and purpose separate. We talk about passion like it's a lightning strike. One day it hits you, and from then on, you just know. It does happen to a few people sometimes, but for most of us, passion is not lightning. Passion is a fire, and fires are built. You don't wait for one to appear, right? You collect small sticks of experience, you stack them. Then you strike a match and protect the flame. Then you add the fuel when it starts to fade. Thoughtful action is you stacking the wood in the fire. Challenge is friction. Skill is when the fire starts catching, and comfort is when it's burning steady. Reflection is you looking at it and asking, what do I want this fire to be for? What should I throw in next? Passion is the heat, the fire itself, but purpose is why you keep it alive in the first place. Neither passion nor purpose is something you find hiding somewhere. It's something you build, stick by stick, choice by choice. And this is why thoughtful action guarantees that you will not fail in the deepest sense. You can take an intentional step and have it blow up in your face. And in the moment, it does feel like failure, but if you reflect on it, ask what went wrong. What could you do differently next time? What it showed you about yourself. You still gain something. You still add a piece of wood to the fire. You might not get the result you wanted. You might not feel passionate every second, but you will be clearer, braver, and a little more honest with yourself. This is what practice and purpose looks like. The only way to truly fail at finding your passion is to sit still. It's to avoid the challenge and refuse at what life is trying to teach you. It also doesn't really make sense to talk about passion like it's only one thing. Most of us have multiple passions and multiple purposes. You can care about science, art, teaching, community, and the people you love. Some fires are big and bright, some are small and quiet. Some burn for a long time, and some keep you warm for a while and then go out. Your job is not to pick one fire and ignore the rest. Your job is to keep learning how to build them, to notice which fires make you feel more fulfilled, more honest, more like yourself, and which ones just create smoke. That is what it means to practice purpose instead of chasing passion. And if you're sitting here right now and thinking, I still don't know what my passion is, you're not behind. You might already be standing in the middle of several small fires you've built without really naming them. A better question is, which cycle am I in? And am I treating my passion like lightning I'm supposed to wait for, or fire I'm willing to build? If you recognize yourself right now in the exhaustion cycle, your way out is not to wait for a magical spark. It's to interrupt the loop. Change one small action. Add reflection. Do one thing on purpose and then sit with what it taught you. That's you picking up the first stick. And if you recognize yourself in the growth cycle, keep going. Keep taking thoughtful action. Keep reflecting, especially when things don't go the way you hoped. Let what you learn about your own fulfillment and your own values shape your next move. You don't need a perfect answer to what is my passion. You need practice. So tonight, ask yourself, which cycle am I in? Tomorrow, do one purposeful action. And before the day ends, take a moment and reflect on what it gave you. Then, repeat. Because passion isn't something you find one day, it's something you build. One intentional, slightly uncomfortable, honest step at a time, until one day you look up and realize that the fire is already burning. Thank you.